Okay, now let's see some minor changes. Okay, so first of all, which version of Eclipse are you using? Go to help, go to about Eclipse IDE, check your version over here, tell me which version it is. I'm asking you people, tell your versions.
Yes, sir, it's opening.
Sir, can you show me again that?
Hmm? Help about
Okay.
Eclipse IDE.
4.18.0.
Okay, 4.18.0. So that is
Yeah.
good. So if you are using your versions which are above 4.5, you may have some issues with that. So let us put up as legacy support. Legacy support means the way it will work on anywhere. Okay, even if you are having 4.5 and above Eclipse also, so nothing to worry, but do some small changes. Whatever you are having till now,
4.17.0.
4 point.
17.0.
Okay, that is fine. So do some small changes. When you're working with Spring inside Eclipse, it is not supported. Okay, for that reason, we have another IDE, that is our Spring Tool Suite. Okay, Spring Tool Suite is just another package for our Eclipse. So, but there is nothing to worry about that. So, what we can do is go to help, go to install new software, and then, sorry, not install new software, go to help, Eclipse Market. Inside this Eclipse Market, you will see almost all the packages or software which are associated with Eclipse. Okay, so once the loading is done over here, my Eclipse is basically configuring. Once it is done, just search Spring. So inside this Spring, you need to install two things. One is Spring Tool 3, Spring Tool 4. I have already installed them, so I request you to install these two. The reason why these two are important is all the STS features are added in Spring Tool 4, and all the annotation based or Spring IDE, whatever the Spring requires, all these things will be added in these two. Okay, Spring 4 and Spring 3, these two add-ons, just you add it to your Eclipse. So once you add it to your Eclipse, you can see over here, one, this is a boot dashboard. Okay, this we will see what is that in when we are going in our Spring Boot versions, and this is your Spring dashboard. So if you want to create a new project on Spring and all, you can directly create over here. Create a Spring Starter project, create Java project, everything will basically be done here itself. Okay, so those two things are basically possible, and there are few more things also. So let me open up my sample servlet.xml. If you see over here, yesterday someone asked me, how do we get these? Why should we go to internet and download all these? So if you don't want to do that, you can install the Spring softwares which I have shown you right now. And if you see over here, there is a big column over here, and this row is consisting of source namespace. Inside this namespace, whatever you are working on, you can basically select those things. First thing is context, and the next thing is beans. These two things, whatever we have worked, they are basically having over here, right? One is the Spring Beans, one is Spring Context. So context is basically the web address, and Spring Beans are basically Spring objects. Now we are working on MVC. So go here, select MVC. Okay, click on OK. As soon as you select MVC, if you see over here, MVC based lines are added. Okay, and if you see over here, before you used to not have this MVC column. So take this, look at this. When I remove this, automatically my MVC goes. So when I put this on, my MVC comes. So you can go to MVC, and we have already seen, we have created this base package, component package, internal view resolver and all. So now inside MVC, if I tell that I am working based on annotation, I can simply put annotation driven over here. Once I put annotation driven over here, automatically these syntax will be added over here. We don't need to write anything. Okay, the same way. So inside this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another annotation that will be my resources. So what is this resources? Resources will basically be our front end files, means our styling files. Whatever styling we wanted to do, those files basically we have to add over here. You have an error, the error is location and mapping is not given yet. So we will give all those things. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Till
sir.
now, are we clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So now let me go to my MVC. Sorry, uh, WebINF. Inside my WebINF, I will create a new folder and I'll name that folder as template. So inside this template, basically, I am creating my styling files. My styling files are nothing but my very simple CSS files. Okay, so this is basically my location. So how do I get this location? Go right click, copy qualified path, just put it over here. Okay, now web content, all this is basically already given by our Java itself. So we'll do this. As soon as I do this and go to MVC and click on resources, you can see that it is already filled over here. And for mapping also, what I'll do is I'll say that map to this location. This star star means anything inside that file. I'm not going to create this files folder and all these things automatically my Spring will do for me. And then I'll save this. Now I don't have any errors. If I come back to source, you can see that the same thing is filled over here. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me close this. Okay, so inside this I need to create something, one CSS file, any CSS file. So let me create a CSS file and tell that it is style.css. Now inside this I am having my style.css. Okay, and this is my main HTML pages or JSP pages. So let me go to my controller once. So what is my first page? That is my user info. Let me open up my user info. Fine, this is my user info. Now let me go to Chrome. So inside this, basically what the type of file we created is basically a contact form. Means we are just giving some details to this and telling the client to contact this person. So we'll Google for contact form HTML and CSS. Okay, so you will get the both HTML file and as well as the CSS file. Click on any link whichever you feel like doing this, and basically I'm going for this particular one. Okay, I'll go for demo on code. Good. Now basically I'm having all the HTML and CSS files. So I'll copy the complete CSS files first and then I'll paste it over here. Okay, so my CSS files are pasted over here. So let me run this once. So let me go to my sample. Let me run this on server. Okay, let's see what is happening. There is no change, right? Whatever we have created over here, basically the same thing is there over there. There is no change, right? Is there any changes over here?
No, sir.
Whatever we normally created, the same thing is over here. So first we need to make some changes over one on the head. After this, what you need to do is you need to give a link. Okay, this is not at all a JSP expression tag and all. So what I'll do is I've already created this. Instead of wasting the complete time, let me open up my, okay, I think the name was display user, yeah, user form. So this is the file. Let me copy this, go back over here. After the head, let me paste this, save this, and then close this. Now let me go back over here, refresh this. So something is happening. Okay, so our CSS file got updated. That part we know for sure. The reason why we know for sure is the background color. We got the same background color over here. Okay, but there are some things you need to consider. What are those things? In this CSS file, this CSS file is basically developed based on this particular form. Okay, whatever this is, it is based on this. Okay, we'll start making some changes for that. So how do you make the changes? Go to your user.info. First, copy the HTML file completely. Okay, then you paste it after a few lines, and let me make the necessary changes. And this is not inspired, so this is basically created. Okay, forget about the warnings and all, no need to worry about all those things. Save this, go back over here, refresh this. So you are getting a contact form, but this contact form and this thing are not correct. Okay, so whatever we changed, it is there. So it became created and it became Monish. So whatever those things we did, that part is clear. Okay, so now let me go back to my JSP. So let me remove these two, cut it over here, paste it at the end. Okay, let me save this, refresh. No changes, everything works perfectly. Now the thing is, if you see over here, it is having a placeholder name and it is already by default it has given a value. Okay, basically this division over here, it's an app form. So this is our form. Okay, so now what we need to do is copy this form action, whichever we are given over here, and paste it after this. Okay, so this is basically showing us an error because it is repeating. Now what I'll do is I'll comment this out. Why is my comment not working? Okay, whatever that is. So let me put a toggle comment. Oh, okay, since you updated the Eclipse, I think the command things are changed. Okay, not a problem. So this will be my comment. Let me check the shortcut again. Control Shift C, Control Shift C. Okay, so now you are getting an error, that is the end tag. So copy this also. So wherever this is starting, check the ending of this. So let us say the ending is somewhere over here. So I am assuming this is the end tag. Let us me check it out. Okay, where do this end? App.form 74. So let me end this over here. Okay, and then let me comment this out. This will be your form tag right now. Whatever their form tag is, I'm changing this, and this contact info also I'm changing it to my necessary things. Okay, now let's go to the real part over here. Let me copy this, because there we are having only name, email ID, contact and message, only 4 items, but here we are having name, password, there are a bunch of items, we are having around 6 items over here. Okay, so let me do a thing. So let me copy this, paste it for another 2 times. So now I am having my 6 things. Okay, copy, paste, and then comment this out again. Control home, control C, control home, control V. I am commenting one after the other so that I just don't get confused. Good. So all the commenting is done. Now the last one, my submit button. I've copied this and then I've commented that. And there are 2 things over here. Now I'll copy the cancel button, put it over here, and then I'll delete this. Okay, let me save it. Go back over here. Now refresh this. Good, everything is changed. Now everything is based on our particular requirement right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now let me go back. So see, anything else we need to change over here. So as far as I see, there it has given us contact us. We'll change this to please fill the form, and then we'll put up a thank you. Okay, let me save this, go back over here, refresh this. Now we got our changes. So this color is not appropriate for me, so let me change the color. Okay, first of all, now I think this is not at all necessary. Change this, and welcome user is also not necessary. So I'll format my file a bit. My file is formatted. Now let me go back over here. This welcome user is not at all necessary, so welcome user is gone. Now we have a button where if you submit the details, you will go to the next page. That will be our normal page. Okay, so I need to change by in the background color. Okay, over here, so go to whichever this is. So now screen, after screen header, screen button. Okay, screen body is flex, content block. Okay, so I think this is the color. So what is the color? This is black only, right? This is the same color as this. Yeah, I think so. Fine, let us change this to some other color and see. Let me add a D. Tell me a color, Pujita.
Um, Yellow, sir.
This yellow. Fine. So let me change this. Any changes? No. Let me see where that yellow is actually. Okay, I think this one is the thing. Fine, whatever that is. That is not our color, so let me change it back to whatever it was. Let me save this. See for this changes. I don't see any changes. Do you see any changes?
No, sir.
Okay, so let me go to app the form dot button. This is hover. Let me see. Okay, this is maroon. Okay, so where is the color? Mm-hmm. Font control. This is having some color. This is pure white. I am not a fan of CSS language, so I don't know what is even happening over here. So display is flex. Okay. Anyone got anything? Where is this particular color option?
The screen after is there, right? Maybe
Yeah.
that one.
Screen option is not even having the color.
No, no, sir. Screen after in that display black. Okay, block that. Okay, that's
This is
not
display block. So
not that
here,
one, sir.
okay, let me
Maybe in
change
screen
this.
only. Yeah, background.
Let me change this. Let me change this to yellow. It's not a problem with CSS. You can do any kind of changes. Okay, so this is this one.
Screen header. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe screen body.
Okay, I think I don't have a screen body option. Yeah, I have a screen body option over here. Now in this screen body, this is display. I think I have a color over here, and this will be my this credits. So okay, fine. Let me do a find option over here. Let me search for body. Find this. I have a body over here. I have a body over here. Body. Okay. Oof. Fine. Hmm. Okay, let's see if we can change, make any changes. I'll make the change for this. And always remember, CSS never shows errors. Okay, something definitely happened. I don't know what that happened, but this is not good.
Because you're changing the displays.
Well,
This
let me
is
do this. Okay, now if that is the case, then where should I change the color? Somewhere it should be, right? Screen head body color.
yes, maybe screen something is maybe
This is app
screen.
dot title. Okay. This kind of situation, what I do is I open IntelliJ. Let me show you why I open IntelliJ, because this is more simple in this. So let me open up this sample project. So inside this sample, I hope my server is still running, so I don't need to run anything over here. Close this, open up my sample, web content, webinf template. style.css. Okay, yeah, and IntelliJ it automatically shows the colors on the next. So when I am searching, I don't need to search for anything more. So 3E it's a complete black color. So let me make this into something else. Okay, hello, let me save this. Let me go back over here, and this will automatically change over here. We don't need to do anything. So only thing we need to do is search for this yellow. Yeah, so whatever we did, that yellow is changed over here. Let me save this, go back to this, refresh this. Got it. Okay, that is the reason I love IntelliJ. So now basically we made a small changes to our front end visual. Okay, now given your details. Okay, was there a password yesterday? Did we create a password?
No, sir.
No, I don't think we created a password. So let me go back over here. Okay, there is something for password. Okay, fine. I think we created the password. I forgot. So let me put up some weird password. So I think the most weird one is that select whatever you want, put something. Now you get all your details. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so that is how you basically style your pages. Okay, so now we'll do a small thing. We'll do form validation. Okay, simple concept is very simple. Only thing is, if without name you can't submit your form, but here without name, without password, without any details it is taking. So basically that is not good. So we must tell that it is completely required. So what we do is, we go back to here. Inside this we say required is equal to true. Okay, and then let me copy this particular one. I don't want to waste my time, and let me paste it over here. Gender is not compulsion, but country it's already uh, whether you give anything or not, by default one country will always be showing over here, right? So I don't think their required is necessary. So information, nah. And here just remember, here we are giving this particular line is for all the things, means all the skills. This is not for one skill. So whenever you want someone to check all the boxes and it is compulsory, at that time you put a required over here. Okay, save this,
Yes.
go back over here, try to submit this. Okay, what happened? I didn't refresh. Go back, let me refresh this once, try to submit now. See, it is telling me that this is a required field. So put it up, put some password, put some country, and if you see over here, you need to basically checkbox everything. If you even leave one also, it will give you an error. So when you want to check everything, at that time use this kind of a thing. Okay, or else in our JSP, yesterday I showed you how to do only single buttons for my gender, right? So the same way, instead of checkboxes, use checkbox and then fill it up only for required. So there may be a condition when you are applying for a job, you may be applying for a Java developer. Okay, and the required skills are Java, and Spring is compulsory. So without Spring, if there is no Spring, then that means you can't apply for job. So for those kind of things, you can put this required option. Okay. So after this, it will go back to this. So you can basically do all these changes for here also. One thing you can do over here is, I didn't explain you one proper line, and that line is this. Okay. So first I am telling is I am adding a link over here, and what kind of a link it is? I am telling that this link is corresponding to a text file or a CSS file, and in that CSS file also it is a style sheet. Okay. There are many options in this. Okay. So inside this also there are a bunch of options, and Eclipse will never show all these things. So let me go back to my IntelliJ, and let me go back to user info. So inside this user info, when I do this, you can see these are the bunch of options, whether you can say it is an author information or a bookmark or whatever it is. So REL means relationship. Okay. So I am telling the relationship is, it is a style sheet. Okay. And then there is one particular line over here. This line is the path. The path is for files slash style.css. Okay, so what is this files dot style.css? We have created this in our sample servlet. So we are telling that this is our normal location, but when I am changing it, when I am going to my server location, this particular thing, whatever I am mapping over here, this should be mapped with this particular location. So this one we are not creating it, this mapping files and all, it will be created automatically by our JVM or by Spring. Okay. So and the another important point over here is page context dot request context path. So what is this? This is our this link. So this is our link. So this is the context path. So for this context path, since we are working on web-based application, this is the context path. So if you have a doubt why we are adding in pom.xml, why we are adding our Spring context, because that is basically our link, that is called as context path. To access those things, we are adding our Spring context. Okay. So whichever location this is, I am adding this context path so that my context, this may change, this may be anything, but if this is having this particular thing, then this line will get executed. So now what I'll do is, this is basically our sample. If you go, okay, let me fill up some details, submit. If you go over here, my context is changed, right? My context path has been changed. Now what I'll do is, I'll open my display user. Inside my display user, I'll copy this line. Okay. And I'll just paste this line over here. Okay. Sorry, is this the same line? Okay, let me close this once. Don't save this. And let me close my W file. Let me open up, I think this is display user. Yeah, this is my display user file. In this display user, I'll paste this. Okay. Once I do that, let me go back, give some, refresh this page first. I made some changes, give some values, and then submit. Now you can see it automatically changed everything. Even though this length, this particular path has changed, since we gave this line, automatically it will take any path, it doesn't care. So that is the importance of form validation. And then styling is important than looking something like this. Looking like this is particularly nice. So styling is pretty important. So we will look into stylings also if the time permits. Okay, that's all for today.